everybody doing today?
Good.
Good. Glad to hear it or whatever. So I was thinking about faith. And the Bible has a lot of passages about faith. Basically what religion is. Whatever religion is, it involves around your faith and your beliefs. Even if you're atheist, you have a faith that there's nothing, basically. Hopefully, well, that's just the definition to have. But your faith is that you're not wrong. And it's not a good place to be, whatever, if you are wrong. Let's just put it that way. But there's a lot of things here. In Merriam-Webster, the definition of faith, which is now, by the way, is 1A, there's allegiance to duty or a person, so loyalty. Such as you lost faith in the company's president. B1, fidelity to one's promises, or sincerity of intentions, such as they acted in good faith. You believe that they acted in good faith. They maybe gave you bad information, but they didn't know that. They thought they were giving you something good. Belief and trust in and loyalty to God. Belief in the traditional doctrines of a religion. Makes sense? Firm belief in something for which there is no proof. Again, so a lot of times when you're dealing with something in faith, you may not have any proof that what you're believing in is real, basically. But you have faith that it is. That you, contrary to other information that you may be receiving from other sources, you're still believing that this is still the correct answer. This is still the right thing. Firm belief in something for did that one. Complete trust. Yes. Number 3, something that is believed especially with strong conviction. Especially that is with like a system of religious belief. You believe strongly in it. You have a strong conviction in the belief system. In the Strong Concordance definition for faith, which it goes for like assurance, belief, faith, fidelity, persuasion, and credence, it's the Greek word I'm not going to pretend that I can pronounce that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to pretend. But it's spelled Pistis for the Greek English translation of that. That is strong G4102. That shows up in the King James Bible 228 times, that particular version of it. So the usage of that word for faith was in regards to assurance, belief, faith, and fidelity. The definition they had was persuasion, i.e. credence, moral conviction of religious truth or the truthfulness of God or a religious teacher, especially reliance upon Christ for salvation, abstractly, constancy in such profession, by extension, the system of religious gospel truth itself. So, you got our moral conviction there, reliance upon Christ for salvation. In Hebrews, chapter 11, verses 1 in the King James Version, we get a little thing here about talking about faith. We get our own little definition within the Bible right there. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. In the NIV, the New International Version, now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. So here we go. In the Bible itself, it's defined as here. It's confidence in what we have hoped for and assurance in what we have not seen. So we're hoping for this over here, and we're giving assurance that, we haven't seen all the stuff come back yet. It may not even be looking good yet, but we still have assurance that it is what we hope for is going to be what's going to happen. And so that can be very hard when you're being faced with stuff that's being put out there. It's really hard to have faith in something when everything else is telling you, no, you're wrong, or it's going the other way. So we have a couple of verses where we see how faith gets a little bit involved here. In Judges 6, verses 36 through 40, so Gideon said to God, if you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, look, I shall put a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew on the fleece only, and is dry on all the ground, then I shall know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said. So here's Gideon. He believes that he's heard from God. All right, so he has faith that he's heard from God. He feels like he's heard from God. But he's not 100% certain or whatever. It may have been a bad burrito last night. Okay? He may have had a bad burrito. So he's like, all right, God, I'm going to ask you, I got a little thing here. Can you go and do this here? Can you go and take this fleece and get it all wet and make the ground around it all nice and dry, okay? Just to be sure that it's you and not that burrito I had last night, okay? And it was so. When he rose early the next morning and squeezed the fleece together, he wrung the dew out of the fleece, a bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, "Do not be angry with me." All right, look, just don't be angry with me. You did it. I know you did what exactly I asked for, but let me speak just once more. Let me test, I pray, just once more with the fleece. Let it not be dry only on the fleece, but on all the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night. It was dry on the fleece only, but there was dew on all the ground. Now here's the thing. God could have been like, dude, you said you believed in me. You had faith in me. Why did you ask me twice now to do this thing here, whatever? God could have went and he could have been very angry at him. He could have punished Gideon. He's like, "No, you're not going to be the one who's going to do this. I'm going to go get somebody else who's going to just listen to me on the first try and not think it was a bad burrito." But that wasn't the case. God was okay with him asking for clarification, to getting confirmation, in this case, a third time. But we're getting that confirmation because he was doing it. He still believed in God, and he just wanted to make sure he was clearly following God's word, because he wanted to make sure he was following God's word absolutely. He didn't want to be thinking he was doing somebody else's work, whatever. And God was okay with that, because he was like, all right, you do believe in me. I can see that, and you just need clarification to make sure that you're following my word. That's fine. I'm going to give you the clarification. I'm going to give you enough reassurance so you know that you are actually following me and not somebody else. Because you got to remember, the devil is really good at his job.
Yes, yes.
He knows the truth as well as anybody else. And he knows how to twist it or whatever. So it's okay to go. Even if you believe, to ask God, can I get a little bit more confirmation here about this here and there? It's okay. We see that in John chapter 20, 24 through 31. Now Thomas, called the twin, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. The other disciples therefore said to him, "We have seen the Lord." So he said to them, "Unless I see his hands in the prints of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nails, and put my hands into his side, I will not believe." After 8 days, his disciples were again inside, and Thomas was with them. Jesus came, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, "Peace to you." Then he said to Thomas, "Reach your finger here, and look at my hands. Reach your hand here, and put it into my side. Do not be unbelieving, but believing." And Thomas answered and said to him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen, yet have believed." And truly, Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book, but these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in his name.
Amen.
So here's good old Thomas here. The other guys are like, "Hey, we saw Jesus." And Thomas like, "What you talking about here?" I'm like, "No, I need to kind of like see it in person, whatever, to be certain, what you guys talking about is real. I just don't quite believe you guys." And so Jesus has to go and make a personal appearance and allow Thomas to see the holes in his hands, see the wound in his side or whatever, for Thomas to believe, oh, he really did rise. That really is Jesus. You guys really did see him, whatever. But does he go and punish Thomas for lack of faith, kick him out, ban him? No, he doesn't. All he simply says is, "Hey, you believe. That's great. But blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed," whatever. So basically, he's not getting punished because the fact that he, again, needed confirmation or whatever about it. But Jesus is like, all right, that's fine, you need confirmation. But for those who just actually have that faith and actually are believing without having to get other physical evidence, they will be blessed. They will receive a little bit more, if you will. But he's not punishing Thomas for getting that clarification. He's not punishing Thomas for, again, just asking for clarification or whatever. He knows where he's coming from. He's coming from the right place. Because he has faith or whatever, he just needed a little clarification there. And now he's got that, he's all good to go. In James chapter 2, verses 14 through 26, we're going to get into now faith and deeds. Because basically these here are also deeds, works that are done as part of the faith, whatever. And so, getting into that, we get a little explanation about faith in relation to works. And how that works. What does it profit, my brethren, if someone says he has faith, but does not have works or deeds? So somebody claims they have the faith, but what are they doing? What are their works? What are the deeds they have done? They claim they have this faith. Well, what have they done? Can faith save him? Can faith just by itself save him if he has no deeds, he has no works? If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, "Depart in peace, be warmed and filled," but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? Here they are. They're naked, they're destitute, they got nothing, whatever. You're like, "Hey, have a great day. Peace to ya." What's that going to do for them? Nothing. It does nothing for them. That's great that you got faith, whatever, but you didn't do anything there. You just gave them some words, whatever, which is nice and kind, but you didn't do anything. Nothing to help them. So they're still going to be where they are. You gave nothing there. You need to do something to go with your faith. Thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. So again, faith just by itself, if you don't have deeds and works to go with it, is dead. It's not going to save you. Faith alone is not going to save you. You do need the works and deeds to go along with it. But someone will say, "You have faith, and I have works." So you got one person over here, they say they got faith, whatever. And the other person over says, "Well, look at all the good deeds. I'm a wonderful person. Look at all the charities I've started. Look at all these organizations I've started. All these wonderful things do. By and large, I'm considered a good person. I've done all these things." They just don't necessarily have faith. They've done good things, but they don't have any faith. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. So his counter to that statement was, show me your faith. Show me your faith. Okay, fine, you've done these things, but where is your faith? Show me your faith without your works. So without your works, where is faith? There is none. Because they were just all works where they had no faith. So they can't not show their faith. However, for the gentleman who has faith and he's doing his works, he's like, and he's saying, "I will show you my faith by my works." By seeing his works that he did because of his faith, you can automatically see the faith from that, from what he has done, from the actions that he's taken, from the deeds he's accomplished. Just by that, you can see his faith. So he doesn't have to go and be like, "Oh, here's my faith." No. He's already shown it to you by his actual works that he did as a result of his faith. Whereas somebody who did them without faith, it'll be kind of evident that you can see that there's no faith involved in their works, their deeds, their actions they've taken. You believe that there is one God. You do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. It's like, yeah, you do things stuff, whatever, because you're concerned about there being one God. That's great and all that. But even the demons know that. They believe that, and they're scared or whatever, because they know there's only one God. So that's great that you think there's one God, but not doing much by yourself. You're not really setting yourself apart. But do you want to know, O foolish man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac his son on the altar? Do you see the faith was working together with his works? And by works, faith was made perfect. And the scripture was fulfilled, which says, Abraham believed God, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. And he was called the friend of God. You see then that a man is justified by works, and not by faith only. Likewise was not Rahab the harlot also justified by works when she received the messengers and sent them out the other way? Another way. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Think about that for a second there. The body without the spirit is dead. It's, the spirit leaves the body, that's it. It's just a big pile of fleshy goo. There ain't nothing there going on without the spirit. It's dead. But the same thing, your faith without works, without your deeds you're doing, is dead. You don't really have faith if you're not actually going out there and producing something with your deeds. For example, at my job, whatever, this weekend, I just turned on a major new component that we have for shipping for LTL. It was a very big project, whatever. The people in the company had faith that I would do it based on stuff that I have done, on the predicted deeds, my works, my deeds I've done up to this point in time. They had faith that I can perform this task and go out there and produce it, and which I have gone and done. And so hopefully everything goes well, and I'll still have a job at the end of Monday. I have faith in that. That I believe that my deeds will be sufficient or whatever to justify that I will be in good standing, whatever, at the end of Monday, based off the works I've done. Similarly, whatever, people go out there and they want to believe God for a better job. Maybe they want to move up into a leadership position in their company or a management position. Or maybe they want to go do something else, whatever, in their life. Maybe, some other type of job they want to move into, a better paying job. Or maybe there's some type of more fulfilling job they want to move into that they didn't think they could move into. And so they have faith for that job. But what are you doing to get there? If you honestly believe God's going to provide you this new job, what are you then doing? Are you going and reading a book on how to be a good leader, on how to be a good manager? Are you reading a book about the area or topic? If it's a technical skill, are you reading a book about that technical skill for this new job that you want? Whatever it is that you want to go and do. What are you doing? What are your works, your deeds? You say you believe. What are you doing? You want to believe. People out there are like, oh, God's going to give me a new, bigger house. I'm going to get a bigger house. Well, that's great. You believe that God's going to give you the bigger house. What are you doing? Are you taking care of what you have currently? Are you showing God that, yeah, you're ready to take on a bigger challenge, a bigger house? Are you cleaning your house on a regular basis? Are you vacuuming it like every week? Are you dusting like every month or every other 2 months or whatever, something like that? Are you mowing the lawn, on a regular basis? Do you have a savings account to take care of when stuff breaks in the house? A building fund. It's estimated it should be about 10% if you have a fully funded amount, it should be about 10% of the total cost of the house, just for the record. But do you have that? Are you setting aside money for that so like you can repair the roof, repair the driveway, get new appliances? Appliances break, people. What are you doing? Are you just believing, oh, God's going to give me a bigger house, whatever? So what? God's going to give you a bigger house when you have not taken care of this other property that you have, you let go into a state of ruin? He's going to give you something new to bring into a state of ruin and be like, yeah, God gave this to me, and it's just kind of a pile of junk. What glory is that going to be for God? God's going to be like, yeah, no, you say you have faith, but you're not doing anything to support that. If you believe this is what's going to happen, then act like it. Carry out the works. Do the deeds. Don't sit there and be like, oh, God's going to do it, and you can just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and it's all going to... No! God expects you to put in work. If you're not putting in that work, you don't really have faith. There are people out there, whatever, they go out there and you see them sometimes and they say things and they claim that they're Christians, whatever, and they're out there and they're speaking stuff, whatever. But if you really look at some of their works, their deeds or whatever, one of the things as Christians, we are called to love one another, forgive trespasses. And also the simple fact is, it's not our job to judge. Judgment is reserved for God. And instead out there you see a lot of people, they're more than too eager to judge one another, put each other down, and they're not doing it with love. Their works kind of show the fact they really don't have faith, that they really believe in God, that they believe in what God has told us. He's given us in our instruction manual, in the Bible, what we're supposed to do. And yet they're claiming like, oh, they're Christians, whatever, and they're representing us out there on the stage and stuff like that. It's just like, no, they're not. Look at their works. They're not really representing us. They're not really doing that. They claim they are, whatever. But when you really look at it, you can see it's not associated with the faith. Their lack of belief and really in God and trusting in Him and trusting in... No, it's our job to love one another. Because that love is a powerful thing, whatever. It is so very powerful. So much so, it's even one of the greatest gifts. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 13, and now abideth faith, hope, love. These three. But the greatest of these is love. We're talking about gifts here. And love is the greatest gift. Which makes sense. Think about that. And it's tied in with faith, hope, and love. Think about that for a second. It's tied in with faith, hope, and love. So the three of those are gifts. And the greatest is love. Think about that for a second. Because if you love your husband, if you love your wife, do you not have faith in them? If you don't have faith in them, I suggest you find a really good marriage counselor as soon as possible, because you're going to have some issues in your relationship. Likewise, if you love that person, do you not have hopes and dreams, whatever, for your future with them? The hopes where you want to go, families you want to start, if you want to have a family, whatever it is, business adventures you want to have together, whatever, as a family unit with that person. If you have a friend that you love your friend, do you not have faith in that friend? Who has a friend if you don't have faith in them? I mean, it's not much of a friend if you don't actually trust your friend, you don't believe in your friend to do things. And do you not hope that they'll have a good life, a happy life, that they will find salvation, that they will have eternal life? You have hopes and dreams for your friends too. Why? Because you love them. And so with everything, when we love things, there's faith and there's hope involved in that matter. So much so that we have a very nice example of love and faith, whatever, with God. in John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world. God loved the world. He loved us. And another way of thinking about this also is actually God has faith in us. Think about that for a second. God has faith in us. And so, as we know here, God honors his word or whatever. And God has said, faith without works is dead. And what was the work that he did? He loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believed in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. His work was he sacrificed his only begotten Son for us, because he loves us, because he actually believes in us. He actually has faith in us. And so to back up that faith, he sacrificed his Son for us on the cross. So we may then have faith and believe in him and have everlasting life. Just think about that for a second. I don't know, maybe nobody needs to hear that here today, but just think about that for a second here. God believes in us. The Alpha and Omega, the creator of the universe. Basically, I am just a bug compared to that. But he believes in me. And he's backing up his faith by sacrificing his Son so that we and I, you, everybody, may have everlasting life if we choose to have faith with him. And it's not without cost. You have to do the work. You have to do the deeds. You have to sacrifice. Again, we like to say the term born-again Christians, right? Because you're setting down the old life. In order to follow Jesus Christ, you have to give up your old ways to go and walk with him. That's part of your deeds and your works. You have to let that go. Be buried in the water and rise anew, fresh and clean, as a follower of Christ. And you go out there and you carry out those works. You give up the other ways. You give up the worldly ways or whatever that are not walking with God. Because you're making a deal here. You have to walk with Jesus Christ. You have to walk with God here. And that means you have to stay on the path that he's laying out for you. Yes. There's terms and conditions to being a Christian or whatever. It is not free. People like to say, oh, it's free. No, first and foremost, it was bought initially by Jesus Christ. But two, we also have to accept the terms and conditions along with that agreement. It's just like the FedEx guy comes up, whatever, you got to sign a little document, and basically you kind of sign certain agreements. And there's certain agreements here. Well, you're going to live with this type of lifestyle. And if you don't, you're not going to have the right works. And your works are not going to back up your faith. And without your faith, it's dead. You don't have it. You can say you're a Christian all you want. You can say you believe all you want. But if you're not actually producing the actual works, the actual deeds, and actually walking and talking and walking with God, it's done. Pick up your Bibles.
Yes.
Reach out. You can call him anytime.
Yes.
All right? You can call him after 9 o'clock at night. Don't call me. But you can call him after 9 o'clock at night. He's okay with that. Don't call me. You'll be in trouble. But call him. He's okay with that. And you can call him early in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, 6. Don't call me. But you can call him at any hours of the day, any time, any day of the week. Don't call me on Saturday or Sundays. I want to rest. You can call him any day of the week, unlike me or whatever. He is there for you. Yeah. But you have to pick up the Bible. You have to listen to him. And it's okay whatever if you want confirmation, just like Gideon, just like Thomas. It's okay if you want him to clarify, if you want him to confirm it or whatever, to make sure that you're following him, because he wants you to follow him. So he's okay with giving you that extra confirmation so that you can know that you're actually on the right path. But you have to do it. If you claim to believe, back it up. What are your works? What are you doing in your life to show your faith, to actually support your faith? Can I really see your faith from your works? If I were to go and look and see what you have done, will I really see your faith? Or will I just see that you did a lot of good deeds, which are really nice, but there's no faith there? You claim you're doing it. You get dressed up in those little Sunday baths, and I think there are some of those places like to wear those little hats at church, and so you look all prim and proper there, whatever, so you look the part or whatever. But what are you really doing? Do you really have faith? Are you really doing works? Are they really supporting that faith that you claim to have? Or are you just playing a role for people because you just want to play that role? Maybe it's because you want to get that attention from the worldly people. You want to get that pat in the back from everybody around you because you want that attention. And instead of getting God's attention and getting his pat in the back, you're kind of seeking a worldly pat in the back. So search yourself. Make sure that you are actually following God, that you're actually doing the works. And if you have questions, ask. Yes. Ask for confirmation. God is happy to do it. He's not going to punish you. He's not going to make you feel bad or whatever. It's not like one of those crazy cult movies where you question the leader or whatever, and he's going to ban you or whatever, punish you or whatever, what you see on the Lifetime channel or whatever, something like that. where you see those life stories, whatever. It's like, no, that's not the way God works. God's okay with you questioning Him. God's okay with you asking confirmation. He's okay with that because He loves you. He's our Father, our eternal Father, our Heavenly Father. And like any father, He's okay with guiding you and giving you instruction, Lord, so that you can stay on the path, so you can do the work to support the faith. And God has done the work to support it. He gave up His Son to support His faith. His faith in Gideon. He was more than happy to do the work to make the fleece wet and dry, the floor wet and dry.
Yes.
To support Thomas or whatever, because he had believed in Thomas. To support Thomas, he was willing to show up and let Thomas actually poke the holes.
Yes.
And show up, whatever. God's willing to put in the work because He believes in us. Are you willing to put in the work to show your faith and your belief in Him?
Hallelujah.
I hope you are. Pick up the Bible. Talk to Him. Reach out to Him. If you haven't accepted Him today, I ask you to please go and accept Him now. He's there for you. You just have to do the work too. You have to put in the work yourself. And it's a choice you have to make deep down inside that you're going to choose to follow Him each and every day. Tomorrow, the next day, forever. Once you do, it's also very liberating. Thank you all. Thank you very much. I'll just close out in a short little prayer real quick. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for watching over each and every one of us, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for guiding us, Lord. I hope you open up everybody's hearts and ears when they hear this message, Lord. Help to draw them closer to you, Lord. Help to reaffirm their works, Lord, by their faith, Lord. That they reaffirm their faith with their works, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for your works, Lord. They reaffirm your faith in each and every one of us, Lord. Because you have faith in each one of us, Lord. There's so much that we can accomplish, Lord. We thank you, Lord. Every day, Lord, you go and you show us how much you have faith in us by your works you do for us, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for continuing favors and blessings upon each and every one of us, Lord. Thank you, Lord, as you continue to draw us closer, Lord, as you continue to grow us, Lord. For which one us to become, Lord. Thank you for every blessing you continue to shower upon us, Lord. Thank you for every favor you continue to show us, Lord. Thank you for continuing to let us to spread your word to every part, Lord, of the world, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for allowing us to spread your love, Lord, your joy, Lord, to everybody, Lord. The fact that you believe in each and every one of us, Lord. There's somebody out there who doesn't know that, Lord, that needs to hear that, Lord. That needs to hear that you believe in them, Lord. Lord, because you do. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, for letting us spread that message, Lord. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, amen.